Welcome to Enigma Fitness Galaxy. I am Julian, the narrator, your host today and going forward. And today we have a question, which is what do women actually want in a man's body? We have no definitive answer, despite having an entire internet full of viral videos on the subject and a lot in the fitness world. Coming to you on Enigma Fitness Galaxy next, we look into what science and the studies have to say about that. What do women actually prefer in a man's body? We spend, well, not we, but a lot of times for a lot of young men, the reason why they particularly, and maybe for women too, anybody gets in the gym, they want to have an attractive body for a partner. This part is focusing on male and female relationships, specifically men looking into what a woman wants from them. So men are trying to figure out, and that's like the most searched topic. Seems to be a mystery to a lot of men. First of all, they spend a lot of times on things like male enhancement. They spend a lot of times on things like, certain particular material possessions, having larger cars, larger boats, things like that. Doesn't seem to really move the needle for women. So what does then? So this has roots in evolutionary psychology. And the reason why I wanted to go over this video topic is that the recent hot video thing to do in the fitness world, and it's kind of a copycat world, but it's like the Hawk to a Girl video. It's been around for a really long time, but it always gets hits. Always gets hits. And that's, they have different shaped men and they roll them all out for you. They'll have a medium, a large, an extra large, right? And they have a super jacked guy, somebody with a skinny hipster bod, and then a guy with like a nice body, a guy with like 12% body fat. He probably goes to a CrossFit maybe 3 times a week kind of body, You like him, he's a good guy. He probably wears suits sometimes, gets a little chubby, loses the weight. That seems to be the type of body that women pick in the video every single time. They say the same thing almost every single time, which is, I want muscle, but not too much muscle. They almost always look at the bodybuilder and say, that's too much. So are men who are in the gym bench pressing their faces off, wasting their time when it comes to attractiveness? What do women actually want when it comes to studying them from a neurological and evolutionary psychological perspective? And well, first off, it's going to be a whole bunch of stuff you guys don't want to hear about. It's like feeling stuff, which is like super important to women. I have a really, really beautiful wife, and like feeling stuff is key. So what they want is really 3 different things, and it is logical what they want. They want somebody who can care and provide for children or offspring. Back in our caveman days, a man who was abandoning his kids was pretty much in a situation where they were up against other grown men for resources or rival animals and different things. It left the family very, very vulnerable, and the human race probably not continuing. Second, can he care and provide for me? So the woman cares for her own physical safety. So what does that look like in your environment? And that's going to be what they want in a partner. So the can he care and provide for me is not so much of a physical thing. It's a trust thing. They want to know if they can trust you. Are you giving them signals that they can trust? And whether they're going to hook up with you or whether they're going to marry you, they're still going to look for certain trust stuff. So it's really important that you're sending those off. For instance, and this is one that I knew when I was younger, if you approach a woman from behind, she's going to jump like she's getting attacked. Just it doesn't matter what you look like or what you say next. They don't like it. You don't like getting come up on from behind. Nobody likes that. It makes you shudder, right? If you approach from the front, it's completely different. So you don't want to scare them, and maybe some bodies do. And the last thing is he likely to survive tough times. And that is he gonna be a weenie or not? Is he gonna be able to fight off the wolf, the bear, etc., whatever's coming for your food, or, you know, Biff Tannen, right, from Back to the Future, whoever it is, right? You don't want a guy who gets bullied either, because that means, like, in today's culture, they don't want a guy who gets bullied. Why a guy who gets bullied isn't gonna come back probably with a good financial situation to show for his efforts, unless he has a super special skill. So, getting into it, what do they want in a body? First, waist to shoulder ratio, WSR. Women prefer a waist to shoulder ratio of 0.6 to 0.7. So that is to say, what they want is a waist that is thin and narrow, they want shoulders that are very broad, and they want the angle from the shoulders to the waist to be at about 30% bigger, right? The shoulder should be 30% bigger than what your waist is at, or the shoulder should be 40% bigger than what your waist is at. And that's almost getting toward like the proportions that we see in like men's physique or classic physique. So that's kind of bodybuilder-ish. So, I mean, women don't like egg people. Don't be a Humpty Dumpty sitting on a wall, falling down with your circle friends. Little Greg Doucette impression. Waist to shoulder ratio is tied to strength and fitness and testosterone. And then it's also known to highlight the V shape. So the V shape is an indicator of leanness, athleticism. He can run, he's strong enough to conduct labors, right? Whether it might be farming, right? It might not be like fight against somebody. It's farming. Can he do a whole day of work? Hypertrophy, actually, like a bodybuilder body is a workman's body. It's not a fighter's body. Fighters have like, they look like Triple G. They look like Canelo Alvarez. They look like Jorge Masvidal, right? Fighter does not look like Jay Cutler. What Jay Cutler looks like is a worker, right? He looks like somebody who does work all day. That's hypertrophy, is from like doing sets and sets, right? It's repetitive motion. Lift something, lift something, lift something again. So it's like a laborer's body. So that means that she knows that you can, you know, get busy with your hands, so to speak. The next one would be waist to hip ratio. So actually, women like you to have a little bit of ass, guys. Women want you to have a little bit of booty. They want the waist to be at about 10% to 15% less than what your hips are. So it should curve out a little bit. And, you know, I feel a little different now because this is a guy's ass that I'm doing this with, so I need to stop doing that. Just stop it. Just stop it. All right. Moving on to the next one. We have squats, important, right? Zercher squats, important. Then what we're learning with shoulders being larger, what else is important? Leanness and lateral raises. Dumbbell shoulder presses, things that get your medial deltoid to move out. That's the center part of your shoulder right there. That is going to enhance your attractiveness to ladies based on academic studies. Muscle mass and definition, they like moderate muscle mass and definition. They don't necessarily like extreme muscularity. And that was found across cultures, which was really crazy. They studied Malaysia and they studied populations in Britain, and they found that this in Asia or even in Europe, they liked like 10 to 15% body fat on their dudes. Extremes were not as popular. So extremes would be like bodybuilders. So guys, I think we knew this already though. That's pretty intuitive, right? If you show a woman a picture of Ronnie Coleman, she's gonna probably wrinkle up her nose. That is not necessarily aesthetic for, you know, on average, the majority of. And I say that because there's always an exception, right? I'm sure you can find somebody that's into anything. Then the next one would be, the next point of what women prefer is actually a study that is sexual in nature, which is that shoulder size, surprisingly, was the #1 body part correlated with female orgasm frequency. So that is when we're having a partner to keep her around, keep her satisfied, keep everything good for you and her. Wide shoulders were actually the physical attribute that led to the most satisfaction for women. So again, guys, your lateral raises, your dumbbell presses, I can't emphasize it enough. Do them, and I'm pretty sure your girl won't be able to emphasize that enough either. So I am doing a great service to the world here at Enigma Aesthetics. So the conclusion, what does this mean? And this is why I did this video, right? I did this video mostly because I was annoyed with these videos. These other ones on my feed, I thought they had nothing to do with fitness, where I see an influencer go up to a girl with a microphone and like, hey girl, do you like his body? Yeah, he's skinny, he's a little sissy, you like mine, yeah, you know, and the girl doesn't know what to say, but she's usually just like, and like, faced with the extreme cockiness of a testosterone-loaded bodybuilder and the judgment of the entire internet, she usually picks the average body. But what research says is that girls like a very, very nice body. They like a very healthy body. Maybe not a geared up body, right? They like probably natural, very good, between 10 and 15%, but on the highly muscular side. And some do prefer the more extreme physiques as well. So there is a place for everybody at the table. That's good news. There are women who prefer body types, men who prefer body types of all types. So no matter who you are, you can find a partner. I'm not saying you can't. You just get more choices with what I just told you. This is Julian, the narrator for Enigma Aesthetics. And what we say here is it's not genetics, it's Enigma Aesthetics. I'm gonna explain it the first time, and the first time only. It's that your mind, your spirit, and your daily decisions are what forms your physique. Really, much more than any type of genetic thing, which I'm living proof of, and you'll see as this channel moves on. Thank you so much. Please like, subscribe, and comment. Also check out my website, enigma.fit. We have a atlas of supplements that I've written. It's our first guide. It should save you a lot at the supplement store. Thank you. Take it easy.